So here's the progress I've made so far. Um, Structurally, I made a lot of progress. Electronically, I made little. But I put a pulley system on there with a tensioner, and I got to put another tensioner on here going this way, and I got to find some way to be able to tension it on this end. I put the spring on the outside so I could see the spring. I don't know if you can see that. Uh, there it is. Hard to see. There is a spring there, right here. But it's the wrong kind of spring. That's a pushing spring. It needs to be a compressed spring with two rings for pulling. And then I need a way to make a tension adjuster or something, or some way to adjust the tension. Little turnbuckle or some way to pull the string tighter or something. I just notched my pad around it. These are my end stop pads, see? So I made a lot of structural headway. Electronically, I'm having issues. When I engage it, I get the wah circuit with a huge drop in the volume. And if I take a ground wire and I touch both sleeves just like that with a ground wire, I get a straight signal pass through, which I don't know if I'm half in the circuit or half out of the circuit or what's going on. But I would think with a wah enclosure that everything touching the enclosure gets commonly grounded together, because I do remember when I did this one wah modification where I had to drill a power jack into it, and it shorted to the chassis. So I had to literally take it out and put black tape or like a Teflon or black tape, vinyl tape around the inside, and then crush it back in there and put the screw on it, and then cut the excess tape off just to isolate it from the chassis. So I do know that there's some common grounding that happens on the chassis here and here and here and here, but I don't know if that's what I did wrong, or maybe I should just go remelt all my solder joints, with the exception of the card. I actually tested the wires from their furthest points. Like I said, oh, I had the card flipped over and I said, oh, yellow, touch the yellow terminal. And then I touched the furthest point away on the yellow terminal on the back of the card, and I tested that way. And then I test the furthest point away this way, and it works. So I'm thinking maybe I got bad connections elsewhere. I hope I didn't mess anything up, but I don't know. I'm not sure what I'm doing wrong, but as you can see, structurally, it's become very interesting. And then I put this washer, I epoxied this washer onto the end to keep the string from skipping off, and it's working. See, but on the return, it gets a little loose. See right there, it just bunched up a little. It needs more tension. See, it's too slack. So I got to figure out a way to tension it. And then the other thing I have to do is underneath here. I'm trying to get it where the light is under there. Right here where the spring makes contact. I don't know if you can see it. See, I'm trying to get it in the light here so you can see. Where the spring makes contact, it's hard to see. I got to make like a pocket hole, like a steep pocket hole. So that means I'll have to take this all off, take it off, and put that wire down. I don't need it. So I'll have to take that off, and then I'll have to put clamp a block on here that I can screw into to help me create that pocket hole, and then take the block off. It's disposable, temporary. Yeah, but see, there's not enough there's not enough tension on there. That's too slack. And it's not enough that I can turn it one more lap. Oops, it did come off of my tensioner over here. No, that wasn't it. No, it's too slack. It's cool though, right? But it's just not working. And before I go and I get into all this, you know, but I can't afford to get the capacitors right now. But before I go and I get into all this, I got to get the circuit working. So I'll have to figure out what it is there. I'm not sure. That's just under there for a little tension to keep the end up, but I gotta figure something else out. I gotta lift this card up. I'm gonna, because it's right by the edge, I'm gonna lift this card up and put a piece under each side there to keep the string on track. I don't know. I'm not sure. Well, definitely I gotta make that pocket hole underneath there. So that's the next mechanical thing I'm gonna do is make that pocket hole here to receive a spring. But probably maybe I'll just cut it out, like just cut a channel, like a box channel there, like a narrow, skinny box, you know, channel. That would be fine. I could do that too. You know, drill, and then cut, you know, from point to point with a little handsaw. That's all. Not a big deal. But, yeah, I made a lot of physical structural headway, but I'm not sure what's happening. It does wah, and the throw is way long, and I can stop it. I can put bumpers under there and make it different, you know. But the thing I noticed is I got to be able to play to see how that's going to work for me, because it's like way longer than a normal wah pedal would be, which is a good thing. Because that's usually the challenge with the wah, is not to make it go wah, 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 right? But to make it go wah, wah, right? And that's not easy to do in a little tiny space. So, but I am getting a lot of the dead space. So I flipped it over and I said, all right about there is where it's stopping to give me more highs, but then it goes that much further. So turn it back, you know, and I pull the tension off the string and I slide it back a little bit. So that's how that would work. But I need to tension up this string. I need to create a tensioner over here. So there it is. Well, wait a minute. I just figured something out. I could put underneath, I could put a tensioner hook that pulls up on the string like this. That could work. We'll keep it. That'll keep tension on it. Not sure. It's the wrong kind of spring. I need the correct kind of spring anyhow before I go too wild with it. But, all right, so that's it. I made a lot of mechanical headway, and electrically, I have no idea what I'm doing other than mechanically my work looks very neat, but I have no clue what I'm doing. So that's the Radio Shack battery clip. Just epoxied in a little tiny little screw, like you would use at the headstock of a guitar to hold the string tree on, you know. And I did put epoxy here. See it shining in the sun. And I made sure I didn't pour any down in that brown hole in case I want to hook up that brown wire. But I just wanted to, you know, stabilize this so it's strong with all this moving around I'm doing. I don't want to keep, you know, cooking that circuit card trying to reconnect my wires. So you can't even see that I epoxied it. Well, if I tilt it in the light, you can. But. So that's it. There it is. Which does nothing yet. So that was the only other thing, like I said. The good idea would have been to move this switch over where it should have been in line with the rest of the things, and then to cut this out like this. See? and round it, like a little round over, and like that. And then to make the foot pad mirror the same thing with this reveal all the way around it. That would have looked very cool. All right, that's that. See you later. I miss my children. I want my children back. I'm doing things to no one will give me a job. There's nowhere I can get a job. Someone's living in my house in Walden illegally. They got my house, and they knew they did because they did specific things to it despite me. There's nothing I can do about it. And my children are missing, and that's it. I just try to do things, conducive things. I need to dust my apartment. That's probably what I should do. All right, that's it.